Hello everybody and welcome back to the Crooked Hour. Today we're going to be doing quick picks and this one will be quick picks. New thing, on cards that I don't really care about as much, we're going to be doing it quick. I've wrote some points on each fight. We're going to be going over them, skipping on. It is so hot here in Australia right now. I think it's 34 degrees and it is 9:19 PM. Humid as fuck. And this room gets even hotter because of my computer. I don't even have the fan on. I know you can see it spinning, but I actually just turned it off so it doesn't pick up in the audio. But we're going to be flying through this because I don't really care for this card. There is some good matchups, don't get me wrong. There is some decent matchups, but overall, I ain't feeling this card that much, especially the main event. I don't know why Gaziev has a main event, but we'll go over that soon. Jumping straight in, I'm sweating like a dog. My back is like a water slide right now. Starting off with Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady versus Loik Radzhabov. Now, I only watched a little bit of like highlights of each fighter. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you here. I ain't going to lie to you here. But I am going to go Radzhabov. What I wrote down is that he's an underdog overall. He's a good grappler and he can contend on the feet. I do believe that. He does have good grappling. Like, I've seen some of his grappling highlights and he does have good grappling. And I did watch one of Abdul's fights and he's sometimes pretty open to getting taken down. So my goal here, Radzhabov's going to be able to get him down and he's decent enough on the feet. I would say Abdul is better on the feet, but I reckon Radzhabov can contend on the feet. I'm butchering that name, by the way. I'm going to go decision win for Radzhabov. I am. Decision win. Next up, Ľudovít Klein versus AJ Cunningham. Why doesn't Ľudovít Klein have a picture is the main question. But Ľudovít Klein was meant to fight somebody else. AJ Cunningham's coming in short notice. Lost on the Contender Series by knockout. That was literally his last fight. Coming in here against Ľudovít Klein, who honestly I rate. He's one of my favourite, like, low-key fighters. Like, he's one of those fighters that when I see him on a card, I'm like, look out for him. He could win most matchups. He's really solid in the grappling, in the striking. He's very diverse in the striking. That's just what I wrote in my notes too. I said more diverse, on a good run at the moment besides the draw. If you take out that draw with Gilbert Burns' brother, I believe, he's on like a 4-5 fight win streak. So other than the draw, he's on a great streak. He's looking great. And I'm going to say opponent isn't very good, coming off a KO loss. And he's actually a featherweight. This guy's a featherweight jumping in at lightweight on short notice. So he ain't going to be in peak condition. He ain't going to be in his usual form. Might give him some more strength, but he's not used to it. He didn't build into this form. I'm guessing he couldn't make the weight to featherweight. They just said, all right, want to go to lightweight, Ľudovít Klein's division. AJ Cunningham said, sure. I'm usually a featherweight, but I'll take the fight. That's what I think happened. So I'm going Ľudovít Klein. Next up, Christian Leroy Duncan versus Cláudio Ribeiro. Now, I do rate Christian Leroy Duncan, but Cláudio Ribeiro is a decent dog. And these two are going to be trading on the feet. And Ribeiro does pack some power. I would hedge Christian Leroy Duncan to win, but for the odds, like if we're... Basically, my pick's Christian Leroy Duncan to win, but my actual pick, taking odds into consideration and underdogs and favourites of who I think's the best pick for the best odds, as well as who I think's going to win and how close the fight is, I'm going to go Cláudio Ribeiro. I think he can chin him in one of the exchanges. Like, going over on notes, I said Leroy can be open and Ribeiro packs power. True. I would say Ribeiro's the better grappler. True. Christian Leroy Duncan isn't bad on the ground, don't get me wrong, but Cláudio Ribeiro has shown good grappling. And this is a good fight, and either are going to knock each other out. So, if we say either are going to knock each other out, that's giving Cláudio Ribeiro a chance. Like, you won't just say, oh, Christian Leroy Duncan 100% going to knock Cláudio Ribeiro out. Like, Cláudio Ribeiro could knock Christian Leroy Duncan out. That's what I'm going off. I'm going Cláudio Ribeiro, although Christian Leroy Duncan's probably safer. Next up, Aiemann Zahabi versus Javid Basharat. Now, I think I actually forgot to write notes on this fight, but I do know a bit about these fighters. You know, Aiemann Zahabi ain't bad, but he's 36. And then you got Javid Basharat coming up, 28. Like Javid Basharat as well, I've rated him. He's got like skills everywhere, on the ground, on the feet. He's a real complete fighter. He's in that new generation of fighters that I think will go far. Aiemann Zahabi, though, I think is a unique test for him, though. Like, Aiemann Zahabi is very well-rounded as well, but I think Javid Basharat will be able to win this fight just by being better everywhere, and I think he can steal rounds, and I think he'll get a decision win over Aiemann Zahabi. Maybe having a close round in there or something like that. But I'm going to go Javid Basharat via unanimous decision. Vinicius Oliveira versus Bernardo Sodjab. Now, when I was researching these fights earlier this week, Oliveira had a different opponent and it's changed. And I was actually going to go with the different opponent. So, to keep tradition, if you're new to this channel, every video, I try and get one pick that I'm unsure of that I can flip the coin on. Can't remember if it hit last week. I don't know what I flipped it on. But we're flipping it. We're flipping it. Ah, fuck, I didn't even say it. It's that hot. Got bugs literally flying around on my screens right now. This is summer in Australia. It's probably the same everywhere, but bugs, bro. Alright. Tails for Oliveira, heads for Sodjab. So tails for Oliveira. Just remember that. Tails. So we got an Oliveira. I don't mind this Sodjab guy because he's got a lot of, like, he's 23, like, not knowing anything about him, but he's 23, 11 and 2. Like, he that's the age where you learn a lot, especially having a record like that. So I don't know if they got that age wrong or if that's his actual age, because he's either been fighting from a young age or he's got a lot of fights in quickly. But I'm going to go Oliveira because the Queen said so. I'm going to go Oliveira by decision. I'm going to go Oliveira by decision. I think this young 23-year-old Bark might give him some problems. Next up, Eryk Anders versus Jamie Pickett. Now, Jamie Pickett's trash. 13-10. On like a 5-fight losing streak. Could be 4, besides the point. And Eryk Anders is actually decent. Like, he is actually decent. Jamie Pickett ain't good. Yeah, that's really all there is to say. And Eryk Anders does pack some decent power too, and Jamie Pickett's very hittable. So I'm going to go second round KO. I think Jamie Pickett can at least, not contend, but he can at least survive the first round. I'm not saying Eryk Anders is a big machine, but I just think Jamie Pickett's that shit. But I think he can at least contend in the first round, at least survive, land some decent shots maybe. But then I think Eryk Anders will KO him in the second round. Shots up against the cage, I think he comes through with like a right, punches him up, standing TKO. That's what I think. Jamie Pickett ain't good. Now, I'm really confused about this fight. Is this on this weekend or not? Because I don't know. I heard it was. Then I heard it wasn't. So I'm breaking it down quickly because I don't want to waste my time. And I did break this fight down last card. So if you want to get a more in-depth breakdown of this fight, go watch my last video. I sort of break it down a little bit more. But basically the gist of it is I think Raul Rosas Jr. can compete on the feet. It's not like Ricky Turcios is dangerous on the feet. I think his last 3 fights have all been split decision. Last one was a split decision win. The one before that was a split decision loss. No, the other way around, I think. Split decision loss, split decision win, split decision loss, if I'm getting that correct. So he ain't that good. He's sort of out-pointing fighter, doing weird techniques and that. And I think with those weird techniques, Raul Rosas Jr. is going to be able to find takedowns, and I think he subs him. I forget what round I said. I think I said second round sub. And that's what I'm going off now anyway. If I did say it differently, I change it to second round sub. I think he can sub him up here. Actually, I think he said he was going to KO him, which I don't mind that, actually. But I'm going to go sub. Second round sub, I just can see Ricky Turcios doing some weird spinning shit. Raul Rosas Jr. shooting a takedown, getting him down. And if there was any time to be confident in Raul Rosas Jr. stand-up, it's after his last performance getting that KO. So I think he should clear this fight if it does happen. Next up, Matt Schnell versus Steve Erceg. I got sweat dripping from my forehead. I'm going Steve Erceg. Matt Schnell isn't bad, but he ain't... I said he ain't break either. I think I was meant to say he isn't bad, but he's not great. He doesn't stand out off the page, which is true. He's good. He's good. Like, you would say Matt Schnell's good, but you wouldn't say he's great. And I do believe Steve Erceg's great. I do believe Steve Erceg's good, and I do believe he packs some power, and his grappling's good, and his striking's good. He can be hit a little bit, but Matt Schnell ain't going to be the one to KO you. That could jump back in my face, but I don't think Matt Schnell's going to KO him here. I do not see that happening. Matt Schnell, he's just too chinny too. He's chinny. Bro always getting KO'd, knocked down in flyweight. Steve Erceg actually packs some power. That's what I was saying too. Like, looking at his frame, you wouldn't think so, but he does pack some power. He does sting people sometimes. I could obviously see him getting a third round KO here after a dominant 2 rounds, hurting Matt Schnell. I could see him getting a third round KO, just like Matt Schnell withering to shots up against the fence. Like, Matt Schnell, his striking isn't good enough to compete with Steve Erceg, in my opinion. His grappling isn't bad, but I really do rate Steve Erceg's grappling. I think Steve Erceg's just better everywhere, like, across the board. I got Steve Erceg winning, plus I always bet on Australian fighters. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Bekzat Almakhan. That's just what we're going to say. Now this Beck, I'm just going to call him Bekzat. Bekzat guy ain't bad. Like, he ain't bad at all. But he's fighting Umar Nurmagomedov. Like, that's a tough debut. Overall, yeah, what I wrote, opponent is good, solid overall fighter. He's good everywhere. He's got good grappling. He's got good defense in grappling. And he's got decent striking. Now, I'm going off, like, one fight. I'm going off one fight that I watched of this guy. And he did look good. Like, he's good on the feet, and he's got good grappling. He's just good overall. Like, he's a solid fighter, like 17-1. If he wasn't fighting Umar Nurmagomedov, like, I could see him winning this fight. I could see him winning this fight against most people. Like, most people who aren't top level, I'd be saying this Bekzat guy is going to win. And I think he'll be in the UFC after this fight, like, and I think he'll do big things. I think he'll be a guy to look out for, because he's only 26 too. I think Umar will be stronger and a little better overall. It will be a good fight. Should be decently competitive. But I got Umar Nurmagomedov via decision, actually. I think Bekzat's good enough to not get finished. I think Umar will have moments where you'll be like, oh, is that submission in? Is that in? But I think Bekzat, he's got good sub defense. I could see him defending subs. Having tricky moments, definitely losing on the feet and in the ground. I think Umar gets takedowns here, but I think Bekzat can survive. I do. And I think Umar will win a unanimous decision, and people will be going, that Bekzat guy, he's good. He's good. Somebody to look out for. Next up, Alex Perez versus Muhammad Mokaev. Now, I'm going Alex Perez. And it's not that I don't rate Mokaev. I like Mokaev. It's just, I can't see you almost lose to Malcolm Gordon and Tim Elliott. I can't see it. I can't see you lose on your way to losing, and just because you got that third round sub, you won the fight. Alex Perez, people, you gotta realize, Alex Perez last 2 losses. Figueiredo, Pantoja. Former champ, current champ. There his 2 losses. Sure, he got dominated, but will Muhammad Mokaev be able to dominate him like that when he's like getting outpointed by people like Tim Elliott? Tim Elliott is good. I'm not saying he's not good, but Alex Perez better. And Malcolm Gordon. You'd think I forgot that Malcolm Gordon fight. I'm going Alex Perez. I think he can win a decision here. It's just like, I see it going like most of other Mokaev's fights. Like Alex Perez winning. Mokaev looking dangerous in the third round, But he doesn't get that sub. He doesn't get that finish on Alex Perez. And Alex Perez wins a unanimous decision. Step back for Muhammad Mokaev, but I think he will get better. I think he needs a loss, honestly. I think he needs a loss to kind of kick his ass into gear a bit more. So that's what I'm going, Alex Perez. But close fight, Muhammad Mokaev could get it done. I hope he does get it done, but Alex Perez is my pick. I just can't see those fights before and then say, yeah, he's going to beat Alex Perez. I know Alex Perez has had some time off. Just going back to this fight, I know Alex Perez has had some time off, but still. Gives Muhammad Mokaev more of a chance, sure, but Alex Perez an underdog too. I like it. Now, Victor Petrino versus Tyson Pedro. You know, I can't bet against Australian fighters only on rare occasions. If I think it's at least a little bit close, I'm betting on the Australian fighter, you know what I'm saying? But bias aside, either of these guys are getting chinned in the first round, in my opinion. I think Tyson Pedro is just a little bit more strategic. Like, he finds his openings a little bit better. Victor's probably more powerful, but Tyson Pedro has that power to put you out in the first round, and he's strategic with it. Either of these guys getting carried in the first round, going Tyson Pedro off the basis that he can strategically find his shot before Victor Petrino powers through and finds his shot. And just for instance, if Tyson Pedro gets dropped and doesn't get KO'd, Tyson Pedro is decent off the ground, decent off his back. I think he can possibly survive, or he could use his grappling in this fight, although I would not want to grapple Victor Petrino. Just look at him. Couldn't imagine trying to get him down to the ground, although I might want to. Pause. Do as a joke. But I think Tyson Pedro would have a grappling advantage. He's got a two-inch reach advantage as well if they do just trade shots on the outside. Yeah, I'm going Tyson Pedro. I think he can win this fight, and that's another dog I'm picking. That's another dog, baby. Next fight, Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Shamil Gaziev. Now, how the fuck did Shamil Gaziev get a title shot? I don't even remember this guy's fight. I don't even remember his last fight. Like, I don't even know who this guy is. I probably watched it, but I don't remember it. Why does he have a main event on a fight night? Like, this could be a good co-main. Put it here. Put something else here. Don't like it. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, all respect to him. He deserves a main event, but just against somebody a bit more well-known. Shamil Gaziev, what the fuck? Why they boosting fighters up so far up the ranks as well, I'll never fucking understand. I'll never understand that shit. I'll never understand it. But Rozenstruik's going to send him to the Shadow Realm. Get your ass back in line. You know, Sean Strickland did it. I forget who he fought. I can't think of his name, but he's that Russian guy. They tried to give him a boost up the rankings. Sean Strickland sent his ass back down there. Shamil Gaziev, he's going to get his ass sent back down there after getting fucking KO'd by Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Now, I did watch Gaziev's fight, his last fight, and he did look decent, but he does look hittable. He has moments where he can be hittable. Jairzinho Rozenstruik can be hittable too, but you don't want to be getting hit by Jairzinho Rozenstruik. And Jairzinho Rozenstruik's takedown defense ain't bad, and Shamil's mainly a grappler. Rozenstruik's going to KO him. I'm putting money on it. You don't have to tail me. But I'm going to do it. Jairzinho Rozenstruik via round 1 KO. Gaziev tries to go in for a takedown. Jairzinho Rozenstruik clips him with like a wide hook or something as he's coming in. Shamil drops to the ground, tries to reach for a leg. Rozenstruik gets out of it. Gets to his back. Boom, boom, boom. Ref goes, nah. It's done. That is my prediction. Now, sincerely, I am sorry for the breakdown of this card. It's just hard to get motivated to research cards like this when they got main event Shamil Gaziev. But all respect to this card. It's got some decent fighters, but my point is you can research these fights, but why would you want to go through all the effort researching all these fights when this is a main event and then you just got like little stinkers in here? Like, these are all good fights, to be fair. But like, this ain't the best fight. Eryk Anders, Jamie Pickett, like, this ain't the best fight. Decent card, just needed a better main event. But overall, I'm fucking boiling. Anyway, guys, as always, have a good one.
Give me 5 minutes, I'ma pull up with like 5 niggas. Give me 5 minutes, girl, I'ma be right with you.